Hello, and welcome to the Z Hut. Today, we're going to take a look at some equipment to help you get more and better wildlife pictures. Now, the first thing, it's going to be your camera. Now, if you're just trying to use one of those little point and shoot cameras that fits in your pocket, try taking some pictures of birds next to your bird feeder. Honestly, it's not impossible, but your chances of actually getting a good quality, decent picture is going to be hard. What you're going to most likely want to be using is an SLR camera. Now, I have a Canon here. It's a mid-grade one. It's not the most expensive, but it's not the cheapo piece of junk. But what I have is a nice, good long lens. It's 100 to 300 zoom. And I would recommend a minimum of a 200 zoom. I used to have a manual lens before this that was, I think it was 40 to 200 or 60 to 200. I'd have to look. I don't use it anymore. And I got some fairly good pictures of some foxes that I was able to get somewhat close to them. But another nice thing, though, is this one goes to 300. Another thing I would recommend is get a teleconverter because it's going to be cheaper than buying a 1000mm lens. Way cheaper. And I bought, this is a Tamron lens, so I bought the matching Tamron teleconverter. And that's what I would recommend. This is just the 1.4. You can get the the 2 times magnification, but your picture quality degrades more. Just the 1.4, it's not too bad for wildlife photography, at least. You get the 2, it's not the greatest. All right, one more thing for the camera. It's actually 2. One, get rid of the strap that just hangs over your neck and has your camera hanging like right there. No, you want one of these shoulder straps. And the nicest thing about this is you take it, and if you're going through the brush, you can stick it behind your back, and it's still on the strap, and it's not hitting branches and stuff. Also, you can let it dangle. You've got a little more clearance to work with it, and I would really recommend... Oh, I keep hitting the microphone there. Hopefully it isn't making too bad a noise. But I really would recommend one of these shoulder straps. And this one, I think I paid $12 or $15, something like that. I ordered it from overseas, like China or something like that. They're not super expensive. You don't need to go buy a $50 one. I would not recommend that. Just so I don't keep hitting the microphone with the shoulder strap, I'll take it off. Now, another thing, I do not recommend tripods for wildlife photography. I recommend a monopod. And there is several benefits to this. One, once you have it screwed on, you can leave it on. And it also gives you a second handle to stabilize to take pictures if you're in a hurry. Otherwise, it's easier to open this and start taking pictures. It takes way less time than setting up a tripod, and it's also easier to quickly move and position however you want. Monopod, definite for that. You can also put a ball head on them. I have tried that. I kind of find it works good enough for me, just the way it is. But there is one more little thing about these. I have actually had dog come at me one time when I was out in the woods, and well, I tell you what, you smack them in the head with this thing, they take off running. Now, if you got a bear or wolf coming at you, probably not as much. It was only a medium-sized dog, but did the trick. Comes in handy, gives you something to club something with if need be. Otherwise, since then, I do usually carry a can of that bear spray, because I usually go out in state forest and they kind of don't like you bringing guns out there. But yeah, that's another recommendation. You're doing wildlife photography on big animals and you're going to be out in like state forest land or out away from civilization a decent amount. get a can of bear spray. It's worth it. It's not super expensive. Offhand, I can't remember what they cost. But you can find them at stores like Gander Mountain. You find them online. But all right, well, that's all I have to recommend for the camera equipment itself. But that's just one part of wildlife photography. There is more to it, and that is you want to get as close as you can to really get good pictures. And the first and easiest thing you can do is go down to your local surplus store and get like what I'm wearing right here. Actually, the hat didn't come from the surplus store, but you can get the military hats. But get yourself a set of surplus camouflage. And it's not super expensive. You're talking like probably $15. Maybe even cheaper, 10. It depends how well it's been used. Or you can go on, if you've got the money, go on eBay, Amazon, buy brand new, or go down to Gander Mountain or Cabela's and buy some brand new. All right, sorry about that. The camera glitched out on me there. I'm not sure, but it just stopped recording right while I was in the middle of doing this video. But I got her going again. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Where was I? I was at, oh yeah. You can also go to Cabela's and Gander Mountain, and you can get different custom patterns for different areas. For like if you wanted marsh or deep woods or field, you can get different patterns that way. But I usually just use this. I don't go out and do it every single day, and this was fairly inexpensive. I think I actually paid $25 because the stuff was in really, really good condition. And I got my hat here, and this was like another $15, but I like it because it helps keep the sun out of my face when I'm taking pictures, and that helps. Now next, you can go a step further with the camouflage you're wearing, and you can go to a ghillie suit. Now what I have is one that I actually just made, and this is just some old military camouflage netting that they would put over stuff so that airplanes flying over can't see it. The nice thing is it had a hole right in the center of it. It's about 3.5, maybe 4 feet wide, and it's about a 12-foot section. But the hole, it fits right over my head, and I'm actually not going to stick it on because it'll mess with the microphone, but I'll hold it up in front of me so you kind of see what it looks like. Put that on, and then I just take, I've got one of those military web belts, and I put that around the middle. It holds it on me. This works really good as long as you are not trying to use it in super thick brush woods, that kind of area. Normal woods, it ain't super thick, you're fine, but if you're trying to go through super thick brush, a ghillie suit's going to get kind of messed up fairly quick. I also found another small section that I can put over my hat, and there's actually some drawstrings on my hat that I can attach this to so it doesn't fall off. As you can see, I actually go to the military surplus store fairly occasionally. All right, another benefit is with this suit, you can actually use it as a blind as well. But generally, I don't use that. I've actually got a blind. And this is another cheap alternative for camouflage. And this works really good if you are on an edge of a woods going to a field, like you want to get some pictures of deer or turkeys or pheasants in the field. And you just get yourself this burlap. And it comes in a big piece. I think this is like 10 or 15 feet by like 4 feet or somewhere roughly around that. I would have to unfold it and measure it to tell you for 100% positive sure. But this works really great. It's nice and light. Actually, this and my homemade ghillie suit, I have a little duffel bag that both of them stuff in there, and it's not too big. So I can actually bring both with, and I can set this up and then put this over my head to act kind of like shade. Done that a couple times, but you don't really need to put it above your head, but and this burlap, it's, I think you're talking about, cat's going nuts over there. I think you're talking about $10. I do believe I paid for this. Maybe it was $12. You can usually find really good deals on it. if you go in just after hunting season to a store like Walmart. Actually, I think I might have gotten that at Walmart. And they'll have a clearance going on, and you usually get it for a few dollars cheaper. So check that out. Yeah, this I actually didn't get at the surplus store. Actually, I don't even think they sold that at the surplus store. Now, there is one more thing you can use as a blind, and it's actually one of the best and works pretty good. And well, the only thing is, this stuff here, you're talking only like 10 to 15 bucks you got into it, maybe 20. This is going to be more like 40 or a little more. Let me grab it here. This is one of those collapsible hunting blinds. And I've got it mostly unfolded, but it then opens up again. This one's made for one person, and I generally go by myself, but I have brought one person with before, and it was just barely big enough. We both got in there a little cramped, but one person, these are perfect. And it folds, you twist it, and it folds up into this bag that's about that big. It's about 1.5 feet across, not quite 2 feet. And it's got backpack straps. You throw it right on your back. Now, I actually did get a good price on this one. It was on a clearance sale, and I think I paid 35 bucks for it. And I actually, believe it or not, I think out of all of this, I used the Hillie Suit the most. But I have used this for taking pictures of foxes and pictures of deer. It works great for that. Birds, you're a little better off with the Hillie Suit or just wearing a standard camo. If you stand still enough, most birds you'll be able to get pictures. Turkeys, different story. Completely different story. Turkeys, yes. You'd want to use one of these or a Hillie Suit and really hide yourself. All right, let me set this down. Now, I consider one of the most important things next to the camera for doing wildlife photography. Who wants to stand all day, but you don't want to carry a big chair? Now, I just pulled it, and I got this little tiny bag. This is a little tripod chair that folds out. It's real tiny, real small, real short. I mean, you're only, I don't know, maybe 2 feet at the max. Looks like maybe 1.75 feet. And it's just a little tripod chair, and these once again are not very expensive. I think I paid like 10 bucks for it. Well worth it. It weighs almost nothing. Comes with a bag with a shoulder strap, and sitting in the hunting blind, sitting on the edge of the field behind the burlap. This is great. Or if you just want to stop and take a break because you've been walking all day and there ain't a tree falling over or a rock to sit on it, you got your own chair. Really do recommend this. I do, no matter what I go out doing for wildlife photography, the chair always comes with. All right, two last little things, and we're out of the camouflage stuff now. But for like birds and certain other animals, you can use bait to get them to come in, and you would have to do this ahead of time. It ain't gonna be go out, throw some corn or birdseed on the ground, and expect 5 minutes later to be getting good pictures. But I have thrown cracked corn and stuff like that out before, and just went back a couple days later. Actually, I went out every day for a couple days and put some corn out. And then after a few days, I went and set up one of my either my fold-out blind or my burlap or whatever, and sat, and I've got some pheasant pictures, some chukar pictures. Chukar, I think I'm pronouncing it right, is about the size of a pheasant, but it's pretty much just gray. Matter of fact, if I remember at the end of the video, I'll throw a couple pictures I got on. One of them will be that. But yeah, use some bait. That'll help bring them in too. Just be careful if you're trying to bait deer. Get them come in, and I'm not sure, but I think most states it's illegal to do it around the deer hunting time. You got to stop like a month beforehand or something like that. You would want to check into that, otherwise you could get into trouble for baiting deer. And even if you're not deer hunting, you never know. The government does crazy things. I've seen people get arrested for just the stupidest things. All right, one last tip, and we'll wrap this video up. Another super important, Bring some bug spray. Bring bug spray. Especially, in the summertime. If you're doing this in the winter, no, don't worry about it. But you're not going to want to sit out there very long if you're getting eaten alive by the bugs. So bring some bug spray. And also, if you are going out by yourself, tell somebody roughly at least where you're going to be, if not exactly. And if possible, bring some kind of communication device. I am a licensed ham radio operator, so I generally bring my HT with, and I have a little roll-up antenna that I can take a rope and throw it up in a tree so I can get out really good. But also where I normally go to do my photography, which is just a couple miles up the road from me, the cell phone tower is right there next to this wildlife refuge. So I can just bring my phone and I'm fine there. But otherwise, an FRS radio, maybe one of those ear horn cans of air horn, and tell somebody where you're going. Even when I bring my radio and stuff, I generally tell at least one person, hey, if you don't hear from me tomorrow, send the DNR out there looking for me. All right. Well, I think we can wrap this up. I think we covered everything. If I forgot anything, I'll throw it on here in a minute, but I think we're done. So I would like to thank you for joining us here at the Z Hut today. Hope you found this information useful. You did. Please give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it big time. So I hope you have a great day, and remember, have fun taking pictures. Hope to see you here again.